So just sitting comfortably. And taking a few full breaths. And it is really important time just to check in, space around you, open and close the eyes, to just settle. So we were considering last week this whole being alive is a growing gesture. The moment we take that first breath, the growing gesture. So we're in that still. Maybe as you sit here now, we don't have to sort of like make an effort to seek this, but what quality would be useful in that gesture? How is it worth spending your time growing? In what quality? And really, we're just open to that space. What is this quality? And you kind of recognize it. It might not be anything you put a name to. But you're starting to recognize the quality that supports your growing gesture. We're going to take that with us into Dandasana. Just in your time, that just really feel that sense of tall and thin. You're tall and thin in that quality. It's a quality more than labels. And have a little wriggle maybe to arrive here. And there's really subtle changes, like the tailbone down, how this supports us from our pelvic wall, the back wall, floor, and that we can grow up out of that. And we're looking at the shoulders as well a lot this week. Just think about how are they feeling now? Can you draw them down? Like use these muscles underneath the armpits to draw the shoulders down. And now we're going to point and flex, maybe 1 foot at a time. So I just don't want it to be that there's an absolute set way that you need to be practicing. We can circle around the ankles. Maybe this is to the periphery of the movement. If you do point and flex, alternate legs, maybe pause there a moment and feel the different sensations, front of one leg, back of the other. And are we still remembering to send a growing gesture downwards, upwards, that quality, it sort of permeates everything. Maybe separating toes, whatever you feel, like you just want to get the feet to feel good. And how is this linking up? You might want to let the arms drift out. Sometimes these sort of like having a steady base and then to move from, I often take my spine into place or shows you just maybe discover places that you didn't realise were just feeling a little off kilter. So just when you're ready, see if we can just separate the feet and slide the soles down. And from here, just going to take hopefully your feet wide enough so that the knee drops to the other foot. And again, this is just going to be however it comes in your body. Just checking the movement from the feet up to knees, and ultimately, what's the articulation in the hips? And if you want to make this you grow out of that a bit more, this gesture becomes something else, that's fine too. Maybe to carry on a bit longer, so maybe even want to interlace fingers and take the hands above the crown. Again, up to you. So potentially the whole body is part of this. When you've been each side equally, just return to Dandasana. We still got that awareness of the quality we're choosing to be in, really. And it's like our moods are growing gestures, everything in our life is, but there's this quality, we're like allowing that to develop. Again, tailbone, sits bones down. And there's just that sense of creeping up along the spine to the crown. Maybe you'd like to circle the head, staying in Dandasana. And as and when you feel ready, taking the arms out, just going to lean one way. You're going to keep the feet flexed. You're going to roll. So pretty much what we were doing before, but with the legs extended. So you're going to see where this takes you as well. And if you feel like staying anywhere, or it could be the forearms you bring down. You might roll all the way over. Depends what space you've got around you. And there's lots you can do here, you know. It might be that you want to explore every place you come to. There's another way of exploring through the hips. But the whole body becomes smooth, nice. Could even be it went all the way over into a low plank. So you can try that. If that feels like it is what develops out of this, well done. We can go back to those like mermaid rolls. Brilliant. Where you have enough of that, separating the feet and circle. Nice and keep the hands on the thighs or interlace the fingers, take them ahead. So don't need to have the feet too wide at first. Let's just check our way through. And as we're doing this, we're going to gradually widen the feet from each other if we can. That looks good. And maybe we can lean over one leg at a time. So you take one hand behind you, leaning over leg. Are you in giant breath? Just keeping a nice steady breath. You could stay in a position, hang there for a bit if you want to. Make sure we have the toes spread, the inner arches engaged there. So you're well supported up to the hips. Brilliant. And when you've done what you're doing, equally take hold the inside of the knees to draw them in. We're going to have the knees wide, toes tucked under. So how you arrive there, I'm just going to come to here. I'll probably go in different positions for you just in case it works. So we'll just sit here for a moment, opening the soles, the toes are spread. At any point, you can shift to the tops of the feet. So even just starting like this, we just get a check on how it feels to move between them. You could put something between buttocks and heels. You may want to hold steady. And just notice we've got that quality of being able to rise up in this gesture of growing. And as we inhale, bring the backs of the wrists to meet above the crown. And just keep being steady, actually bring palms together and down center line. So if it became a movement on your breath, you inhale the hands out. And you exhale, palms together. Maybe put a pause between breaths. You can link forefinger and thumb, spread the fingers before exhaling. So we're going to bring the tops of the feet down if you haven't yet, and see if we can arrive over the thighs. And I'm using my hands right now, but you don't have to. We're going to push away from one side. So you're kind of like rolling from one side to the other. Again, there's no set way where the hands need to be, but you could use them to help you. And especially if you've got any knee problems, sometimes taking the weight off the knees by using the hands, that's useful. Otherwise, just pushing one shin against the floor, and you kind of drift away from it. Gradually come to steady to tuck the toes, potentially, coming back up. Inhale the backs of the hands or wrists together. Exhale to heart. And this time when we inhale, we're going to bring the hands behind us. So on another in-breath, rotate the arms outwards, squeeze the shoulders together. And when we exhale, lengthen into the tailbone and lift the hips. And inhale, to see where that inhalation takes you. The head might hang back. And on an out breath, back all the way, tops of the feet to the floor, and settle down to float between the thighs using the hands or not. And you kind of make your way back up, toes tucked under or not. On an in-breath, the backs of the wrists together. Link forefinger and thumb, spread the fingers and exhale. Just curling through the wrists to come back to heart. And when we inhale, fingertips back. You're already rotating the arms out, squeezing shoulder blades. So you can wait a moment, you can stay here. Or on another inhalation, so you can squeeze shoulders a bit more. When you exhale, lengthen into the tailbone and lift the hips. And when you inhale, see where you get to with that. So exhale, back out. Tops of the feet on the floor and drifting down. And you might want to stay. You might just want to stay steady here. That's absolutely fine. So we can do it once more though, gradually coming up, tucking the toes under. On an in-breath, backs of the hands. Let's just see how the arms need to move to bring the backs of the wrists together. And exhale, roll, let me circling through the wrists to come to heart. So you can pause here for a moment. On an in-breath, take the hands behind you. And on that out breath, raising the tailbone, lengthen into it. And let that become an in-breath that maybe just expand a bit more. Before exhaling, releasing out. You can go down as we have been, or come into frog balance, knees off the floor. So you need to steady your gaze. And the feet are going to work really hard here. Hands on the thighs or heart center. So just let yourself stay if you can and just let the feet adjust, and they're going to work very hard. When you're ready, knees down, hands down. Before you take the tops of the feet down, maybe just slap the tops of the feet a little before classic pose of the child. Knees together and just release over. Well done. So maybe ujjayi, maybe roll over eyebrow center. In each out breath, just re-experiencing the weight of the pelvis, the weight of the head and shoulders. Aware of the sensations in the feet. There was a lot of work for the feet. So just know the next place you're going to arrive at is downward facing dog. So just coming into it, how that works for you. And have a wriggle in at first. You just like tiny little moves really. It doesn't have to be, giant gestures. Amazing position, again, to be able to look at everything throughout the entire body. Just spread the fingers, feel the space between the fingers. Spread the toes. You might end up the heels towards the floor, on the floor, knees soft. And they're going to draw up towards the frontal hip bones. And once you've arrived, just simply take a really good deep breath, like 5 at least, maybe a few more. So awareness really strongly in the hands, Hasthabandha, the feet, Padabandha, frontal hip bones, just gently, they're off, they don't collapse into the thighs. And after 5 full Ujjayi breaths, you could walk forwards or you can stay longer, that's really up to you. The sides of the waist equally long, and there's space between the ribs and the frontal hip bones. If you get that sense of weight dropping from the heart down, maybe the shoulders release a bit more. We're not trying to overbend at the lower back. We still got the frontal hip bones off the thighs. There's a lot of intention and awareness in the shoulders. And of course, when you're ready, start to creep forward. Take the tiniest of steps, maybe walking up the centre line. Even each foot can cross over the one before. So you're walking up along, but also you're taking the feet out. Until you're hanging. And on an inhalation, push your way up. Start that. Let's take several breaths though. But you initiate this by pushing down in the feet, pushing yourself up. Belly scoops back. You take several breaths to arrive. So taking time, you'll know if you need support of the hands to walk up the body or not. Well done. Just arriving in Tadasana. So we just thought, how can we not celebrate the sun at the moment? So this is that whole, the quality that is moving this. Turning the palms forwards. And let's just take a really gentle first round. Inhaling, just taking a big circle up wide and up. And exhale, let the hands come down the centre line, bending knees to hang. And inhale the right foot back if you're practicing morning, left in the evening. And just hang, have a little wiggle here. Again, we've already opened up quite a lot. If there's anywhere in your body you feel you need to just unwind a bit more, release a bit more, and do. Tuck the toes, raise the tailbone, and hang your weight over the front leg. And on an out breath, we're going to step back into down dog, which we've already spent our time in, so it's like a little coming home. And inhale. And exhale, lowering knees, tops of the feet, and the tailbone back. And we ride the inhalation back up, just float up. And on an out breath, arch the spine. Arch spine cat. Tuck the toes, inhale down dog. And exhale here. Know that you're going to come forwards on the in-breath, jump or step or walk to hang for an out breath. And inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms out wide, look forwards and just push your feet to come up. And return to heart on the out breath. And Tadasana. palms forwards. Aware of sensation in the palms, heart space. And this celebration of the sun, inhale, hands, inscribing a circle out and up, gazing up maybe this time. So exhale, all the way down to hand. Inhale, left foot back. And again, have a wriggle, hang here. Tuck the toes, raise the tailbone. On an out breath, step back, down dog. Inhale, rooting into hands and feet, high into hips. Exhale, lower knees, tops of the feet, tailbone, really just float. We're just drifting, floating, ready to follow the in-breath back up. Arch spine, really exhale. Tucking the toes to inhale, down dog. And exhale, just releasing into your down dog. Ready to walk, jump or step forwards. Hang. And follow in your intuition to come out on an in-breath, however that appears in the body. We're going to do exactly the same again, palms forwards, aware, soles, palms, crown, sun, and inhale. And exhale. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, maybe just bring hands to the knees. On and out breath, step back, down dog. And inhale. And exhale, lowering knees, tops of the feet, drifting. And back up on the in-breath, float. Exhale, arching the spine, draw the belly back. Tuck the toes, inhale, down dog. And exhale, releasing into that space. Ready to come forwards on an in-breath. Hang on your out breath. And follow your instincts to come out on an in-breath. Inhale, hands up. And exhale, down. Inhale, left foot. Exhale, hands onto the knee. Step back, down dog on an out breath when you're ready. And inhale. And exhale, lower. Rise back up on the in-breath. Arch spine on the out-breath. Opening the shoulders. Tuck toes and inhale. Down dog. Nice, exhale here. Shoulders supporting you as you walk or jump forwards on the in-breath. Hang. And let the weight of the pelvis land. Just let yourself lay down in semi-supine. Palms up or down. Let the spine settle. And from here, just take the feet up, both hips, flexing the feet. Take the arms out a bit wider if they're not wide. So think about the insides of the legs supporting each other. So the legs that will rest against each other. Do you feel any response to that in the pelvic area, the whole of the pelvis? Crown and tailbone lengthen from each other. So you can stay here, or we're going to inhale the feet to the left hand towards the left hand maybe. You really roll at the belly. Once you're there, exhale, turn away from that foot. And inhale back again. Push into the hands. And just settle for a moment. So we're kind of using the energy and the burst of the in-breath to make the movements. So on an in-breath, when you're ready, feet over towards the right hand. And as you exhale, just sort of turn away from the feet. To inhale back, pushing it down. And pause. So you could stay here, just completely relax, all effort and tension in the feet, they just drift above, float above the hips. Or we can do it once more. Making sure you do feel really stable and ready for it. On an inhalation, you take the feet over to the left hand. And as you exhale, you can turn away from the feet. And inhale back, keeping the legs together if you can. So you're going to wait to do the other side in your time. It will be on the in-breath that you take the feet over. Turning away on the out-breath. And inhale, everything comes back. And pause. So keep the feet flexed, and we're going to keep the ankles and the heels together. We're going to turn the toes away from each other. And then you're going to take just keep breathing steadily, separating the space between the legs. So feel that you are opening the space. Moving slowly, making sure you'll start to gather at the abdomen and almost press the lower back down, but we're not doing it so hard that the tailbone lifts. And the legs are going to arrive wherever they get to. Okay, you're going to pause there. If you feel you would like to put some support, like you can just bring your hands underneath the outside edge of the knees. That can help. Or if you're happy to just let them hang here, you can even bring your hands to the insides of the thighs, not to push them apart, but just even that extra tiny little bit of weight. Well done. You can just help release a bit more. And just what is it like to completely relax the ankles and reflex them? And just do that a few times, noticing. Sometimes when we completely relax ankles, it releases tension in the hips. We're not like bringing tension back, but just a support. When the feet are flexed, you can feel very more stable at the hips. And when you're ready, you can slowly start closing this gap. So see if you can even do it slower than you allow the legs to open. They might start shaking. Often it's a release of energy, basically holds a lot of tension in the psoas. And it can be for all different reasons. It's not always a physical reason that you're shaking. It could be emotional. So just be aware of that sometimes there's a deep sense of it. There's like a trembling. And gradually, the feet just come back and they just floating, like really floating above the legs. And in your time, coming back where we started, on the knees, toes tucked under. And pausing, how does this feel now? And you can stay exactly here. Or inhale, the backs of the wrists together. Linking forefinger and thumb. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands behind you, fingertips down at least 2 halves of the Surya gesture. Let's, as we inhale, squeeze shoulders together. Just feel the expansion of everything. Just grow into this. If you wanted to, on an out breath, lengthen the tailbone away and lift. Each inhalation, you might expand a bit more. Keeping these lovely dome shapes in the hands. And just know when you're ready on an out breath, you come back, tops of the feet on the floor, and allow yourself to drift between these wide knees. And you can roll from thigh to thigh. You can just rest in the center. You can stay here, or gradually come back up. Tuck the toes. Stay here, or once more, inhaling, hands out wide. Back to the wrists together, link the thumbs, fingers. Exhale. Heart. Maybe stay here. Or inhale, fingertips back. Each in-breath, maybe you're rotating the arms, just squeezing shoulder blades. Maybe the front is naturally expanding. Possibly on an out-breath, you lengthen the tailbone away and left. When you're ready, you come out on an out-breath, and you can do what we did before, releasing over, or pause here, come into frog balance. So I just separated my feet. I didn't feel like them being completely close, so you can do that if you want to. But the knees out wide, maybe hands to heart, just let your feet do a little bit of work. Before coming downward facing dog this time, and just walk your way into it from your position. You can stay in the frog balance a bit longer, it's up to you. So spreading the fingers, bending the right knee, and let the foot pass the left hip. And just hang here. It's a really lovely opener for the right hip. But it might be that you can come on the right fingertips. That's the readjuster again. As the leg keeps going over, you possibly can allow the foot to land to the floor and open out. You're ready to come back out. You come on an out breath, back to down dog. Wriggle before finding a stable place. To do the same on the other side, bending the knee. Let the foot pass the right hip. So the knee's gonna, if you keep the leg bent, the knee is actually gonna go up onto the left fingers. It's already giving you an indication to let the left foot hang even more to the right. And you'll know if you can let the foot drop and open up. Coming out on an out breath when you're ready. And creeping your way to the front of the mat to hang. And take hold of the elbows so that the shoulders really get a good release. Step a little sort of legs, shake them out a bit, shake the head. And uncurl, pushing into the feet. And coming back to Tadasana. And let's just make really tight fists. And draw the shoulders up to the ears. And pressing them down again. Releasing the fist, palms forwards. Inhale the hands out and up. And exhale all the way down to hang. Inhale, right foot back, knee down, top of the foot down, hips hang. Exhale, hands onto the knee maybe. And on an in-breath, take your right hand out, but root into your left sits bone. And another in-breath, take the left hand out, root into your right sits bone. Just either stay here, hands going up, but not the shoulders. Remember the shoulders, really, you're actually drawing down and lifting the heart. And on an out breath, hands down, tuck the back toes, raise the tailbone. And on an out breath, step back into down dog. And inhale. And exhale, lower the knees, tops of the feet and the tailbone. And pause here this time. So looking forwards, we're going to try and interlace the fingers, or you don't even have to, you can bring the palms down. We're going to try and bring our right knee forwards by pushing into the left leg. So the left leg ends up straight and you slide into our Kapotasana practice. We kind of did it from a really new place, a new way of doing that. Forehead down, elbows out wide. So spreading the toes, you can stay here. Or if you feel that you're quite stable, take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers at the tailbone. And on an in breath, sliding the hands back along that leg might lift you up. Maybe raising the arms, squeezing shoulder blades towards each other, and you try not to hunch the shoulders towards the ears. Maybe you can gaze up. And on an out breath, releasing out. Hands down, like under the shoulders, forehead lands. Tuck the back toes. And on an out breath, press your way to downward facing dog. On an out breath, lower the knees, tops of the feet, and the tailbone, and pause here. So looking forwards. Again, it could be that you have your hands interlaced to slide in that shape, or palms down. And with this on and in breath, you're going to really push into the right shin to bring the hands forward and slide your left leg forward. The right leg will extend back. Elbows wide, forehead resting. And can we recall if we've gotten our growing gesture and the quality of that? Maybe interlace the fingers at the tailbone, or stay where you are, is totally fine. And on an in-breath, as you're squeezing shoulders together, you're also sliding this hand down the back leg. And over the few breaths, raising the arm, both arms, sorry. Maybe the head can hang back. And on an out breath, releasing. Hands under the shoulders, forehead lands, tucking the back toes. And on an out breath, when you're ready, down dog. Now on an in-breath, jump, step forwards to hang. And look forwards, take the arms up wide of the shoulders. Think about your tailbone lengthening away from the back of the neck. And on an in-breath, rotate the arms, pushing the feet to come up. Palms meet. And exhale to hold. And Tadasana. Well done. So this time, let's take the arms forwards as we inhale. Lovely long lines. And exhale to hang however you wish. Inhale, left foot back, knee down, top of the foot. So coming up first, hands on the knees. And on an in-breath, you can take the left arm up, root into the right sits bone. And on another in-breath, the right arm up, rooting into the left sits bone. And think about the shoulders drawing down and lifting the heart. The arms might hang back, you might end up looking up, keep the ears alongside, the arms well down. And on an out breath, releasing. Raise the tailbone, hang the weight here, moment. And step back, down dog. So we're just going to give you choice. You stay in your down dog and hold and wriggles or steady, or you have a go at that walking the dog once more, bending the right knee, taking the foot all the way up. And you just do it in your time. You might do it like looking at the leader before or not. Know that when you've had long enough over, you exhale back to down dog. So if you did do it on that right leg, of course you'll do the left as well. When you're done, just rest in pose of the child, fingers by the toes. Releasing shoulders. And taking the hands ahead of the crown. And looking towards them. Creep them forward a little bit more. And then inhalation, see if you can draw yourself up. Sorry, you're going to come up. When we exhale, elbows to the sides of the waist, chest and chin down. Maybe tuck the toes and lengthen into the heels. Belly scoops back. We're just hovering above the floor before releasing on an out breath. Hands under the forehead and pause here. And maybe shake the hips side to side. So your elbows up wide are creating a nice stability upper body, so you can really shake the hips. And stop. Hands under shoulders, tucking the toes on an out breath, find your back into downward facing dog. And on an in breath, walk or jump or step forwards to hand. And let the pelvis become heavier and heavier. Once more, we're going to allow ourselves a moment in semi-supine. And if you want to widen heels, prop the knees together. Just as you settle here, reminding again oneself that what does it feel like that there are no mistakes? Nothing is a mistake. That every single fleeting moment is supported by forever. You can stay exactly where you are, this moment, supported by forever. Or you can take the hands above the crown, lengthening the legs, rolling thighs towards each other, linking thumbs, and just enjoying these lovely long lines, front, back, body, sides of the waist. And on an out breath, curling the chin towards the collarbone as the arms come forward. And we're just going to pause here, breathing here. Keeping the shoulders, but like just keeping this tuck, almost like the tailbone and the eyebrow center towards each other, using all our abdominal muscles. And release. See how the arm, maybe for me, my palms just automatically turn up, the shoulders release. Feet drop out. And again, if you want to, linking the thumbs ahead of the crown. Join these really long lines. Front and back body, sides of the waist, the inner thighs all the way down to the inside arches. Outside edge of the hips, all the way down to the outside arches. And on an out breath, curling the chin towards the collarbones, the arms will come forwards. Just let them continue. You can separate hands, but you can make those fists, that can help as well. We're just going to breathe here again. Maybe squeeze your fist even tighter. Everything is gathering to the center. And the out breath, slowly release. Maybe roll the head side to side. So we could take the arms out a bit wider, maybe in line with the shoulders. If you can raise straight legs up, do, otherwise bend the knees to bring the feet up above the hips, flexing the feet. So we're just going to slightly change what we did before. We're just going to change the breath. We're going to take an inhalation, and on an out breath, take the feet all the way over to the left hand. And as you inhale, length, sort of like you turn the head and you expand in all these different directions. Ready to exhale back to center. Give yourself a moment in between to just consider, before you start again to do the other side, that you'll inhale and exhale the feet all the way over to the right hand if you can. And as you inhale, you're looking to the left, but you're expanding in all these directions. Before exhaling, keep the legs together if you can, back to center. Nice. So if you want to move on into shoulder balance, bring the arms alongside the body, fingertips down with two halves of the Surya gesture. And on an in breath, pushing in the fingertips, roll the knees towards the forehead, bend the elbows, support your back. And this is where you can spend the time walking, elbows towards each other, hands down towards the ribs. And just let the chin just move a little bit away from the collarbones, lengthening all the cervical spine. And as and when you're ready, if you want to, taking the feet up. So I want to come up, have a little look. Nice. It's looking great. And think of if you're in the shoulder balance, think of or even if just your legs are just raised above hip. Think about the relationship front back body, and that the sides of the waist are equally long. The inner thighs all the way to the feet. Lovely. And again, this is your growing gesture, and it's being supported by the quality that you've been developing. So just let it become whatever it does. Maybe you stay as you are. Maybe something else appears. You follow. It's like you're following the rhythm, own rhythm, and where this quality takes you. Lovely. That we will all arrive gradually back in semi-supine, allowing the spine to settle. And taking the feet above the hips. Arms out wide, maybe palms down, support up. And we're going to keep the heels together as we take the feet out, keeping them flexed. And we're separating the space between the legs. So think like you're opening that space. Breathing steadily, doing it slowly. Do you know if you need to support anywhere at all? Use the hands to help support the legs. Relax the feet. Once you've kind of landed, you can't go any further, relax the feet, maybe bring the hands to the inner thighs. And just see if you can arrive in a place where you really, this is supporting itself. Weight of the body, gravity and breath, that's all that is here right now. We're trying to get out of the way as much as possible. And you might feel sort of deep releases in there. When you feel it's time for you to come out, flex the feet. So we have that sort of integrity back to the hips as support so that you can slowly close the space between the legs. And just let once they do arrive, just let them really, that effortless sense of they just float above the hips. Pick up behind the knees to come up. Maybe you can balance on the coccyx to come like that, bring the feet down. It doesn't matter if you do, bring the feet down. Once we have come up, then widen the legs. Well done. And see what it's like now. Take your one hand behind you and lean. You can use your hands to help with this, that we're rotating over a leg. Doesn't matter which one you do. And as we come forwards with our weight over the leg we've chosen to come along, the other sits bone will get a little lighter, but keep sending your awareness into it. And you can adjust the arms to wherever it's good for you. You may end up releasing all the way over. Nice. We're going to use our hands to walk us to the center line. It's a different way of coming forwards and back up to sit. Use the hands to help you. And pause, close the eyes. And we can do the other side then, to the other hand behind. And you're using these hands, it's literally to just try and get that rotation. It's helping, so we don't have to, it's not all, you could go however far you can without using hands, but using hands will just creep you a little bit further. And they keep us supported as we can focus then on lengthening the spine over the other leg, along the other leg. So you creep your way along. The other sits bone will get a little lighter, but we don't want it to completely roll off the floor. You send your awareness back down into it. So if it is a forward bend, wide leg forward bend. When you're ready, use your hands to come back to the center, nice and slow. And you could, maybe you could release here, or keep your hands on the floor to just lengthen through the spine. And as and when you're ready, use your hands to come back up to center, to pause. We're going to do it once more, or come into anything you want. You can lay down. We're going to do this once more. So over first leg, get the twist first, keep rooting into the sits bone that you're turning away from, and lengthen along the leg. Think about the belly landing first. So you take your time. And pause here. Use your hands to help you come back to the center. Some people can keep the forearms on the floor. Some people may end up releasing the front line of the body down before using your hands to help you back up. Pause a moment. Going into the other side in your time. Remember your growing gesture and the quality that is supporting it. The quality that you already are. When you know you've been over this leg, equal amount of time, walking back to center, maybe completely releasing, or you can keep forearms on the floor, or even, you know, I'm not saying everyone can get that, but it could be straight arms and just sort of like rest into them. Think about every fleeting moment supported by forever. And you are back up to sitting, hold the inside of the knees to bring the soles together. Well done. So on an exhalation, allow yourself to completely crumple. And on an inhalation, root into the sits bones and just let your awareness travel up. So don't think about having to be at an end range of movement, just think about that sort of like total surrender, crumple on the out breath. Allow the inhalation, that quality to just find its space. You sort of rise up into this quality you're cultivating. And who knows what gesture that grows into. And each of us finds our own way, our own expression. But it's really bringing you very intimately close to the spine. And actually the movement of sort of the finer frequencies, the qualities of our life force. And at some point, if it feels like it makes sense to you, once you've inhaled up, instead of crumpling back, maybe we fold forwards. Possibly the forehead lands on the arches, or that trajectory is, it doesn't matter if it doesn't, remember we can bring our forearms to the legs, and the trajectory would be potentially the forehead bends up. And if you want to find any other way of releasing forwards that suits you more now, or even pose of the child, do. Lovely. And can we, with the least amount of effort, all come into pose of the child? You may choose to stay here. On an inhalation, rising up, widening the knees, tucking the toes under. You might want to, at any point through this, can be what you're just coming to still and steady. Or inhaling the backs of the wrists together above the crown, linking forefinger and thumb. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, fingertips back behind you, two halves of the Surya gesture. And exhale, lengthening into the sits bones, tailbone, and lifting. And that might become another opening gesture, even more on the next in breath. Ready to exhale back. Tops of the feet on the floor and drifting between the thighs. And you keep drifting side to side as you come back up. Nice. Sitting on sit bones, feet down. You walk towards the edges of the mat, tall and thin, and just see what it's like now to roll knee to the other one. How is this? Has there been any change in this? Do you feel looser in the hips? Maybe take the hands above the crown, interlacing fingers. Until you're ready to pause. Balancing on the, so maybe between sits bones and coccyx, you know, there's no completely set way. Can we lengthen the limbs? We looked at this as well last week in some of the sessions. When we inhale, we're going to tense everything as much as we can. And when we exhale, we're going to just lower down a tiny bit more, release. So you're going to take however long it takes for you to arrive in your Shavasana. So each inhalation, tight as you can, even the face. Out breath, slowly release. Just down a little at a time if you can. But this, your final one will be when you completely let go and land. Well done. If you've got the playlist, I was going to suggest as you lay down, it probably is just paper, to put Faith's hymn on and just lay in these beautiful sounds as we settle. Faith's hymn. And if there's any sound that kind of, you know, you may want to sort of join in with it in some way. It might just be that you're aware of the breath on these sounds and the vibration through the body, the breath. You might make gentle sound with it. And there's so many different like, harmonies and potential harmonies. You just might like that. You might hum. If you do make sound, noticing where it travels in the body, and if it's just a sound that's around you that is playing and just settling, how it can really help us release, let go, open up, that sense of being wide open. There's nothing to hold on to over the shoulders, the neck. Being aware of the hollow in the throat center. There's that awareness of spoken and unspoken. And that there are no mistakes. Collarbones soften. And you just gradually sink and settle to the back of the body. And that all that is here right now is fully supported. the hips, let go of the thighs. The knees, let go of the lower legs. The ankles, let go of the feet. Wrap the space around each toe. And noticing as we physically allow that let go, the breath becomes really effortless. There is no demand upon it. It's just an allowing breath and life to be here as it is now. And that this is the gift. It's where we arrive at. You just rest in all sensation, all sound, wide open. Just rest in the quality of the heart space. Right thumb, left index finger, right index finger. Right middle finger, left middle finger. Left third finger, right third finger. Right little finger, left little finger. Space around each finger. Both hands. Space around the hands and within the hands. Around the arms and within the arms. Around the whole of the torso. And the space within, from pelvic bowl to the chest cavity. The space for the spine. To effortlessly settle. Space around and within each cell. And a gentle smile. And whether you can take fuller breaths. And this breath really arrives in all space, the fullness of the space you've created. And this is what our practice is for. To allow this space. The breath flows every part. Wriggling fingers, toes, maybe opening, closing the eyes, taking a gaze around you. Before rolling onto the side and pausing there a moment. And just as and when you're ready, coming up.